welcome to Take5, a podcast produced by Go Short, in which we take a break from the festival to talk about the art of making short films, film festivals, and more. Making sure we step back and reflect, sharing industry insights, experiences, and helping today and future makers on their filmmaking. So on today's episode is Mathieu joining us, Mathieu Jansen, for our little intermission. So grab a seat, take a break, and let's explore the art of filmmaking.
When we make a selection, it's not just pure, okay, we like this film. We also want to have a nice overview or representation of the society and of the European film industry. It's very important to be interested in the world around you. I think the most important thing of being a programmer is just making the connection with politics and just the things that go on in this world. I think if you really follow your own voice and vision, then the film will become more interesting and you'll have more chance to be selected at a festival.
So to kick off this episode, I'm sitting here with my colleague, Mathieu Jansen. He is a film curator and lives and works in Nijmegen. He is a member of the Selection Committe of the European competition, the student competition, the Dutch competition, and the music video competition.
Well, not actually the music competition anymore.
No?
Video,
not
no.
anymore?
No.
Okay, so only 3 competitions.
Yeah, enough films to watch. Yeah.
Okay, a lot of films to watch. So you haven't been sitting still lately?
Oh, well, I have been sitting still because I was on a leave because I just got 2 kids. But when we made the program for this festival, which was finished late January, I was not sitting still and watched a lot of films. Yeah.
You are currently an artistic coordinator at Go Short, if I say it correctly. Can you tell us a bit more about how you came to this role? How you rolled into it?
Nice. Yes, I have never had an education in film or film studies. I studied sociology, but I was always very interested in film. And first started working more in journalism. But then on the side with some friends, I started a collective to organize screenings in Nijmegen. So there, I guess I made a bit of a name for myself in the film world. And through that also at some point got a spot on the Selection Committe of Go Short. I think this was around 2016, I would guess.
Oh, so you've been
Yeah, quite long. And I was a bit involved before also. But since 2019, I'm working year-round in the office in the program department. So that's a bit how I got there.
So you are also part of the Selection Commission, as I said, with the European competition also and with the New Arrivals competition. What exactly does your work as someone in the Selection Committee include? Can you give us a glimpse into your duties and responsibilities?
Well, first of all, a lot of film watching.
Positive or negative? Or both?
I guess both. There always is a point where you're like, oh no, I have 250 left on my pile. Do I really need to watch them in the coming 2 weeks? But in the end, it's just very nice to see so many films. And you also just learn much about the world by watching them. And it's really a privilege to do it. This is what you do, and also write short reviews about the films because otherwise you also forget many.
Do you have to write a review about every movie? Or?
Yeah, I guess so. But when the film is really not my taste and not of my interest, then my review will be very short. It can sometimes be no thanks. And when the film is more up for debate or very interesting, then I write a bit longer review. So and I guess in peak years you watch around 1,000 films, and then towards the festival you start to make the selection. When it comes to the competitions, it's a very nice process where everyone in the committee watches a certain amount of the pile of films we get. We all forward our favorites to the others, and then we watch each other's favorites and we debate them. And this is the nice part to talk with colleagues about the films and and when you set also your responsibilities, and it's also when we make a selection, it's not just pure okay, we like this film. It's also about some balances we try to keep intact. In that sense, we also look at a good gender balance, a balance between the countries we select, because with the films we show, we also want to have a nice overview or representation of the society and of the European film industry. So these are all things we keep in mind.
So how do you even meet with all the people from the selection commission? Do you have a day planned where everyone meets each other in real life?
Yeah, for the European competition, the selection committee members, we work also with previewers. They are more spread out to Europe sometimes. But the selection committee for the European competition is 5-6 people. So we meet for a full weekend here in Nijmegen to have 2 days to talk about all the films.
Is that hard to do in 2 days?
No, actually not. It takes us more like 1.5 days.
So you have a half day off.
And then I start making the programs already. To put them
not
into
really a half day off, but you could if you would.
Yeah.
So you have been working here for years, as you said. So how important do you consider the role of short films in this industry?
Yeah, well, very important, I guess. Almost every filmmaker starts their film career with short films. So it's really the moment where you develop yourself as a filmmaker. Not only because you start there, but also because short films you make them in a shorter time and with less money. So it also gives you more opportunity to experiment with what you do. So it's really a period in your filmmaking career where you start to find your own voice. So in that sense, it's very important. And also when you make a film that is, in that sense, a bit more successful, it also gives you the opportunity to travel to many interesting festivals, meet other filmmakers, meet international programmers, get to know their taste. It also opens up a lot of opportunities for the young filmmakers.
So it isn't just making a movie, it's also everything that comes after.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. For filmmakers that are listening and watching to this podcast, when they are thinking about submitting their film, so what are the main criteria or the criteria you use while selecting the movies?
Yeah. Well, we have some hard criteria, like the film needs to be under 30 minutes. It needs to be a European production or co-production.
Those are just the main criteria, or what's
these are like more formal criteria.
Yeah.
I think I'm forgetting one. It needs to be less than 1 year old. But besides that, I get this question very, very often. But there are no criteria for the selection committee. It's just what we in our discussion find interesting, and there are no certain production values or topics or whatever that I can mention as a criteria. It's very subjective. And I think that's also very important for filmmakers to know, that it can be that they make a very nice film and it gets selected nowhere because it's just some people discussing very subjectively films and picking one out, and it's a lottery.
But shouldn't the selection committee or the preview commission, shouldn't they look at the movie more objectively?
How is that possible?
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's really possible. And like I said, you said in the this or that piano music.
It's really something you don't like.
Yeah, but even if the rest of the film is really interesting, it will still make it.
Yeah.
So, for example, in documentary, I don't think no one in the selection committee is really in favor of more television-like talking head documentaries. But in the end, if it's really good, sometimes a talking head documentary will make it to the festival. So even that is not a criteria. It's very hard to say. So I will always say to filmmakers, really try to make the film that you want to make and not think about what festivals might like or not. I think if you really follow your own voice and vision, then the film will become more interesting and you'll have more chance to be selected at a festival.
Yeah. So that's also that's maybe the main tip you would give to filmmakers that are listening.
And that even applies to being shorter than 30 minutes. I mean, many festivals have a 30-minute hard cut. If you're longer, you cannot get selected in competition. So it's very useful if your film is 33 minutes to cut 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But if you really think that you need those 3 minutes, then keep them. Don't cut them. Although, it's more important to stick to your vision than to cater to criteria of the festivals.
Good message, I think. So the people who come to Go Short obviously all like different genres. How do you deal with those various taste preferences when you're selecting those movies?
I think when you look at the festival as a whole, specifically to Go Short, we are a festival that has a very broad range of films that we show. So when I watch films, I always keep this range in mind. So we have comedy programs, we have more genre programs, we have more topical programs. So we really try to cater to the different tastes and have something for, well, maybe not everybody, but for many people. And also within the selection of the competition, there's also a range of more light tone and more dark tone, more experimental and more audience friendly. Because we also want to show the range of that. And by doing that, and this is also a nice quality of short film, you can put many different films in one program. So if you put more experimental films with more audience-friendly films, you can also lure people who otherwise wouldn't watch experimental to see things they would otherwise never watch.
Yeah, it's really tactical.
Yeah. So this is also a balance that we always look for and try to put into the program.
Yeah. So what do you find the most fun of your work at Go Short? Because you've been here for quite a long time, at least something might be really fun or most fun.
Yeah. I think in the end, the people you work with, and not only the team, but just the whole short film sector. So many nice people, and along the way, I made so many friends, met my partner there, and met so many interesting people, filmmakers, programmers, that it's just a joy to work with all these people. So I think this is maybe the nicest. I also enjoy that maybe sometimes you're tired of watching so many films, but after the festival, you have a few months where you have a bit of a low. And then when the new season starts again, you get this new energy to see all the new works. Yeah. And this is also always a nice moment to just see what's out there every year. Yeah.
Are you going to watch the movies at the festival, or just because you have seen almost every one of them, you're not into it anymore?
Well, this year I luckily have a bit more time to actually be in the screening rooms. But still, I've seen most of them. But just earlier, I had to go to a jury screening to deliver something. And I saw one of my favorite films playing there. So I stayed a bit and watched the film. So yeah, it's always different to watch the films on the big screen. I mean,
depends on the movie, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. And if it's one of my favorites, and some you maybe already seen on the big screen, because as a programmer you also go to many international festivals to watch the films there, and to scout films also. But some you just watch on a laptop at home. So it's very nice to at some point have a chance to see them on the big screen.
Yeah, it's always different also with the movies in the theater, like the Hollywood movies in theater.
Yeah.
So I have one last final question already. Do you have any advice maybe for aspiring short film programmers or curators who also want to work in the industry?
I would say, next to just watching a lot of films, it's very important to be interested in the world around you. I think the most important thing of being a programmer is just making the connection with politics and just the things that go on in this world.
The environment. Cultural differences.
Yeah, and when you are just sucked into film theory and a film world, I think you can say nice things about a film, but to make especially short film programs, you very often work around topics and try to evoke something and tell a story with programming films. So you short films give you the opportunity to show different sides of one topic and put in different opinions and ways of viewing within one program. So it's very important to make always this connection with the outside world. So I would say just, I don't know, read books, read the news.
Watch movies.
Yeah, talk to people.
Okay, thank you so much. I believe that were all the questions I had for you. If you like this episode, please watch the next one. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and keep updated with our next coming episodes.